This is my lake, Mousam, in southern Maine. And this is my boat. Yep, I know it's strange, and it is. How about a brief tour? Well, first of all, the boat is electric. There are two electric motors, two 35-pound thrust ones, and they are controlled here. From left to right, I have two 100-amp batteries in this console. I can turn one on or the other, or both. They provide 12 volts because those motors are 12 volts. This is, I don't know if you can see it with the camera or not, but it gives me the power, the current, the voltage, and there's a little energy reading there. I have no idea what that does. Switches. I have a flood lamp in the front. I have LED lights and strip all the way around, which are controlled by this. And you can make them any color or blinking, whatever. It's kind of fun. This is for the Garmin fish finder. Turns it on. And I have two pumps. One for each pontoon. They're mounted in the back. I'll show them to you in a second. Have you heard that turn on? In case there should get any water in the pontoons, I can drain it out. And I also have the running lights. I have a couple of charging ports here. And these are the controls for the two motors. The motor on the right is either on or off, full thrust or not. No reverse. This one is a PWM, pulse width modulator. I have forward and I have a variable control. You can see it's taking up about 35 amps right now. And I have a reverse. And I have a variable control, which really does work very good and very smoothly. Down here is a radio. I'm usually on
of our customers' essential transportation needs, including vehicle maintenance and repair.
Coast Oldie Station.
I'm usually here, which is on public radio. Turn that off. Flip it down. The Garmin fish finder, it's not big, it's not elaborate, but I really like it. Now, as far as steering is concerned, notice there's no steering wheel, there's no rudder. Getting dizzy here. There's a little momentary left and right toggle switch. And if I turn it one way, And if I turn it the other way, the motors turn. They're not fast, but then the boat goes about 2.5 miles an hour, so it really doesn't matter. I also have back here at about a level so that if I'm sitting, I can use it. I have another switch mounted on this post. That turns both motors. As you can see right in there on that pipe, there's a linear actuator. Right here, there, and there on that side are the two pipes where the water would drain out if there was any water in the pontoons. Beneath that cover right there is a small pump that's mounted directly in there. And the small pipe that comes out next to it has a wire that goes up to the consoles to power them, and also allows an air inlet, so if water's coming out, the air can come inside. I have 4 rod holders. I have a Coleman cooler that was really the most cost-effective thing for a storage area that I could find. It's not for beer. Some extra life jackets, the cushion, some tools, a few other things are in there. It's bolted to the deck, and it's holes drilled in it because they do leak. When it rains, water gets in them. I have a small lure holder on the side over here, and I have a pipe that if you pull that pin out, it drops down, and that is part of the Garmin that sends the signal for the fish finder, the depth finder. I have this winch, which I know looks overkill, but I had it, so I welded it up, put it on. I have a mushroom anchor, and more than holds this boat. Now the boat itself, this was a 1974 Solcat sailing catamaran. Took everything off from it, used the pontoons and the 2 spars, aluminum spars that went across, built the deck on it. So I welded up 2 brackets to hold pipes so that they would come up, and I have a bimini top that is anchored in the back, folds forward, and then 2 bungee cords kind of hold it down on some existing connectors that were already on the pontoons. This easily folds back and wraps, so that if I want some sun, or if I just want more room for casting on the deck without these pipes in the way, I can do that. The batteries are charged, and don't laugh at me, it works, and it works quite well. I have a cord that I plug in down in the side of the console, and then I plug in inside the boathouse. I always plug that in last, and I always unplug it first when I'm going to get on the boat, so there's never any power on the boat when I'm on it. So before I go in, I will take and wrap this around the pipe, plug it in, then I will go and plug it into the power. The cord does hang in the water sometime, but it's sealed, there's no breaks in it, so I'm not too worried about it. And if I did, I might just blow a fuse, but it's not going to happen, it's not a problem. So, that's my boat. It trolls very nicely. Trolling is about 1.5 to 2 miles an hour. This thing goes about 2.5 miles an hour. With 2 motors, it doesn't really go much faster. Electric motors are made for power, not for speed. So it goes about 2 miles an hour with 1 motor and about 2.5 with 2. With a variable control, I can cut it down if I just want to run 1 motor and cut the speed down. I can do that, or I can put them on both on and book it home at 2.5 miles an hour. I can run, oh boy, I don't know. I'm at trolling speed at about 1.5 to 2 miles an hour. I control 3 to 6 hours, I think, depending on the amount of wind. And if I do get a lot of wind, I push this back because it does act like a giant hang glider. and will actually, you know, hold the boat back if I'm going into it. It goes like a son of a gun if I'm going with the wind. So this is my fishing rig. Why do I have this? Because I could have a boat. There's lots of them right now. It's spring. People don't have their boats in much, but there are lots of boats on this lake. I could have any boat I want, but everybody's got one of those. I just like making things. Like this fishing lure is one of my creations from scratch. I just like making things. And now it's time to go. Thanks.